show you how you can automate a content creation agency using Make. Here are the processes for a content creation agency that we're going to automate using Make.com. The first process is the client onboarding process. Here, we're going to send our clients an automated onboarding questionnaire for them to fill in. In the questionnaire, we're going to collect information from the client about their needs, preferences, and the project details. And we're going to feed all that information to our project management tool, which in this case, we're going to use Monday.com. The other process that we're going to automate for a content creation agency is the billing and invoicing process. Here, we're going to set up an automation that creates an invoice and sends payment reminders to our clients automatically to reduce manual accounting tasks. The next process that we're going to automate for a content creation agency is the content planning process. Here, we're going to send our client an email and ask them to schedule for a call so we can discuss in the details the content they would like, and we can also plan the content either weekly, monthly, or daily. This process is going to automatically trigger after the payment is received. The next process that we're going to automate is the project tracking process, where here we're going to set up an automation that tracks the progress of the project to ensure everyone stays on schedule. The next process that we're going to automate is the content creation process. We're going to generate content for blog posts, social media platforms, or marketing materials based on predefined topics. We're also going to set up an automation that automates the content distribution process. Where here we're going to automate the content scheduling process on social media platforms and blog posts, allowing for timely publication without manual intervention. The other process that we're going to automate is the social media engagement process. We're going to set up automated responses to common inquiries. And lastly, we're going to automate the client feedback and review process. We're going to set up an automation that automatically sends review requests and collects feedback from clients, streamlining the revision process. So these are the processes that we're going to automate for a content creation agency. I'm going to add our clients to our project management tool. So on Monday, I've created a workspace and renamed it to Content Creation Agency. Here we have content creation clients. Here's where we're going to add our clients, and we're going to collect their full name. We're going to assign them a member of our team. Also adding the date they were created, last updated, their status. And for the status, we have intake, onboard, send invoice, content planning, in progress, finalizing, completed, cancelled, and client feedback as our status. We're also collecting their first name, last name, company name, email, and phone number. Inside the content creation clients, I've created another board called Content Creation Topics. Here's where we're going to add the topics that we'd like to create content for. But we're going to first of all begin by adding clients to our project management tool via a type form. So on type form, I've created a form called Content Creation Agency form, where we are welcoming our clients and telling them over the next 1 minute, we'll help you fill in your form. And here we are collecting their personal information like their first name, last name, phone number, email, and company name. This is the information that we are collecting and adding it to our Monday.com CRM right here. To add clients automatically to Monday.com using this type form, I'll set up an automation on Make.com. I have created a folder and renamed it to Content Creation Agency System. Here, I'll click on Create a new scenario. I've renamed our scenario to Client Onboarding, where the first part we are adding our client info to Monday.com. This form could be like a form you have on your website or on your ads, where after they visit your website or click on one of your ads and land to a landing page, they are going to fill in this form, and then we are going to collect that data on Monday.com right here. The automation that we're going to set up right here is the one that is going to ensure that the information we collect right here is added to our project management tool. The first thing I'll search for is type form, and then here we're going to watch responses. You can either choose watch response acid or watch response instant. The difference between the two, the watch response acid, you will need to choose when to start, but for the watch response instantly, it triggers instantly after the client has filled in the form. Because I would like to choose where to start, I'm going to choose the watch response acid. Here, you'll need to create a connection between Make.com and Typeform. To do that, just click on Add and then rename your connection and then click on Save. You'll be prompted to choose the account that you like to connect to make. But since I had already created an account, I'm going to close and just choose the right connection right here. And then here, the limit, I'll leave it to 1. And the form ID, I'm going to choose the name of our form right here, which is Content Creation Agency Form. Our form ID, I'm going to click on Content Creation Agency Form and then click on OK. And then here, I like to choose to start from now and then click on OK. After watching our response, I'm going to delay for a few seconds. So here, I'll search for the sleep module and delay for 3 seconds, and then click on OK. And here, on type form, I'm going to list the responses that we are watching right here. For form ID, our form ID is going to be Content Creation Agency Form. And then here, the limit, you can limit it to 1, and then click on OK. On type form, I'm going to click on Share. Here, I'll copy the link of our form and open a new tab and paste the link on a new tab. Now I'll click on Start. Then here we can enter a personal information for a client. So here we can say our client is called James Smith. Here I'll add the phone number of our client, and here we can add their email. jamessmith@annex.com is their email, and they work at Annex. Now here I'll submit our form. When we go back to automation and run it, here you can see that we are capturing the information, the data right here. So we're getting the first name, last name, phone number, email, and the company they work in. And we're getting the responses over here. Now we can add this client to monday.com. Here, to do that, I'll search for Monday. Then here, I'll search for create an item module. Like we did previously, you're going to connect your account on monday.com to make.com. To do that, you'll click on add, and you'll rename your connection right here and add your API key over here. To get to your API key, click on your profile, then click on administration, then click on connection, and then API. And here you'll find your API token. All you have to do is copy it, come and paste it right here. But since I had already created a connection, I'm going to close and choose the right connection. Now, for the item name, I'm going to choose to add the first and last name of our client. So here, I'll add the first name, then space, add the second name. For the board ID, I like to add them to our content creation clients board. For the board ID, I'm going to choose content creation clients. And then for the group ID, it's going to be clients. And we can choose the columns and their values that we like to add to our Monday. I'll click on add an item. The first column will be assignee, where I'll just assign myself. So here, I'll click on person. Then for the ID, I'll just assign myself. And then the next column that I'll choose is the company. Then the value will be the company they work in. Then we can add another item. This time around, we're going to choose the date created column. The date, we're going to add the submitted at date. And then the other column we're going to add is the email. And then we're going to add the value for the email. For the text, we can also add the email text. And then yeah, I'll add a new item. And the column ID that I'm going to choose is the first name. The value for the first name will be the value of the first name of our client. The other column that we're going to add is the last name. Then the value for last name will be the last name of our client. Then we're going to add a new item. Then the column ID will be phone, but we're going to add their phone number right here. The country code will be US. And then here we're going to add a new item. And then choose status as our column. And I'll choose to label it. And here we're going to label it as intake, since these are new clients that we add into our CRM. And then click on OK. To add James Smith to our project management tool, here I'll choose where to start, and I'll choose from our previous submission that we just did. and then click on OK. Put our client to Monday. I'll run this automation. You can see that our client was added to Monday successfully. Now, when we go back to monday.com, you'll see we have a new client that we just added right now. We have James Smith. We just added them right now. Their status is intake. We have their first and last name, their company name, their email, and phone number right here. We have done that by setting up this simple automation on make.com. The next process will be sending the client automated questionnaire for them to fill in so we can start onboarding them. Set up this automation that is going to send the automated questionnaires to our client for them to fill in so we can collect their data. On our folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to client onboarding system, with the second part where we are sending automated questionnaire. I've created a questionnaire form that I've renamed to content creation agency questionnaire form, where here we are asking our clients various questions to try and understand exactly what kind of content they're looking to create for their business. So the first question that we're asking them is for them to describe their businesses in a few sentences. And then here they can type in their answer over here. The second question that we're asking them on the questionnaire form is what products or services they are offering. Here they'll type the answer over here. The third question that we're asking them is what type of content do you need? They can either choose a blog post, social media content, videos, or graphics. And then the fourth question that we're asking them is what are your goals for this content? A, brand awareness, B, lead generation, C, engagement, and they can pick one of these options. The other question that we're asking them is what tone of voice do you prefer for your content? And they can either choose formal, casual, professional, or conversational tone. And lastly, we're asking them how often do you need content delivered? And they can choose either weekly, monthly, or as needed options right here. So this is a form that we're going to send to our clients via email for them to fill in. And we are going to collect this info and add it to our monday.com CRM like we did with their personal information right here. To set up the automation here, I'll trigger this automation by setting up a webhook. So here, I'll search for webhooks and then click on custom webhook. Here, I'll click on add, then I'll rename this to send automated questionnaire webhook and then click on save. And then here, I'll copy the link to our webhook and then click on OK. And then on Monday, I'll click on integrate. Then I'll click on webhooks. Here, I like to send a webhook when our status changes to something. So I'll use this as our template. And here, I'll choose another account and paste the URL that we just copied right here. So here, I'll run our webhook. And then on Monday, I'll click on connect. You can see it says fail to communicate with the URL provided. So here, we'll need to return these challenge text right here. To do that, I'll start on webhooks. I'll click on webhook response. Then here, we'll try to return this challenge text. So here, I'll write challenge and try to return these challenge tags. Then click on OK. Now, here, I'll run our webhook again. And then this time around, I'll click on connect. You can see that it ran successfully over here. So here, I'll delete this response. Then set up our webhook. So I like to send our webhook when the status changes to onboard. And then click on create automation. So now, when one of our clients' status changes to onboard, we're going to trigger our webhook right here. Now let us test if our webhook is going to work perfectly. So I'll run our webhook, and then here I'll change the status of one of our clients to onboard, and you can see it runs successfully right here, and we are getting the specific client whose status we just changed. Now to get all their data, include first and last name, email, phone number, and company name, I'll copy this pulse ID here, and then here I'll add a module, and then on Monday I'm going to search for get an item module. Then click on get and then here I'll choose the right connection, and then for the ID I'm going to add our pulse ID. For the board ID I'm going to choose our board ID, which in this case is content creation clients, and then click on OK. And then here I'm going to run this module by pasting the pulse ID that we just copied from our webhook right here, and then click on OK. Now you can see we are getting now all their data right here, like their first name, last name, company name, email, and phone number. With this data, we can send them the email for them to fill in our questionnaire. But before we do that, we'll get our form. So this form right here. So I'll click on share. Then on automation here, I'll search for type form. And then here, I'll click on get a form module. And here, choose the right connection. And then on our form, I'm going to copy the last part of our form. This is the unique ID to this form. And then paste the ID right here. And then click on OK. So now let's see if we run this module, we're going to get our form. You can see we are getting our form right here. And the link to the form is going to be this link over here, which is the same as this link right here. Now we can create an email and send it to our client. So here, I'm going to search for emails and then click on send an email. I'm going to rename these to send questionnaire email and then click on OK. So for this email here, we're going to add the email address of our client. We're going to get our email address from our, and then the subject line of the email could be on the lines of onboarding questionnaire for your content creation project. For the content of the email, you can say hi, first name, then we're going to add the first name right here. As we prepare to kick off your content creation project, I'd like to gather some important information to ensure we fully understand your needs and preferences. Please take a moment to complete the onboarding questionnaire linked below. Then here, we can add the link to the questionnaire. And the link to the questionnaire, we're going to add it right here, which is this link over here. Then the rest of the email could be on the lines of your responses will help us tailor our approach and create content that aligns with your goals. If you have any questions or need assistance while filling it out, do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you for your time, and I'm excited to get started on this journey together. Best regards, Brandon. And we are adding the break tag to our email to prevent it from being sent as one giant paragraph. And then here, I'll click on OK. To test if our automation works, I'll run it. And then on Monday, I'll change the status of one of our clients to onboard. You can see right here that we sent our client a questionnaire form so they can fill in via this email. You can see the subject line of the email, which is onboarding questionnaire for your content creation project. And then for the content, this is the email that we are sending to our client. And you can see the questionnaire link over here. With these two automations, we just automated the client onboarding process for a content creation agency. The next process that we're going to automate is a billing and invoicing process, where we're going to set up an automation that creates invoices and also creates payment reminders to send to our clients if they haven't yet paid their invoice. On our folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to billing and invoicing automation. Then here, I'll trigger our automation after the status of one of our clients changes to send invoice. So here, I'll search for webhooks and then click on custom webhook. And then here, I'll click on add and rename our webhook to billing and invoicing, and then click on save. So I'll copy the link of our webhook, and then click on OK. Then on Monday, I'll click on integrate and then click on webhooks. And I would like to send a webhook when a status changes to something. So I'll use these as our template. And then here, I'll choose another account and paste the link that we just copied right here. Now, I'll run our webhook. Then here, I'll click connect. You can see it says fail to communicate with the URL provided. That means we'll need to return these text right here. Now to return the text on webhook, I'll click on webhook response. And then here, I'm going to return this challenge response right here. And then click on OK. So I'll run our webhook again. And on Monday, I'll click on connect. You can see it ran successfully. You can delete this webhook response. And then here, we like to send our webhook when the status changes to send invoice. Then click on create automation. To test if our webhook works perfectly, I'll run it. And then here, I'll change the status of one of our clients to send invoice. You can see it ran successfully. And we are getting the specific client whose status we just changed. Now, to get their data, I'll copy the pulse ID. And then on Monday, I'm going to search for get an item module, choose the right connection, and then for the ID, just add the pulse ID. Then for the board ID, we're going to add the content creation client is our board ID, then click on OK. Now I'll run this module by pasting the post ID that we just copied over here, and then clicking on OK. And now you can see that we are getting the data right here, like the first name, last name, company name, email, and phone number. We're going to use Stripe as our payment provider. So here, I'll search for Stripe and click on Stripe. The first thing I'll do is I'll search for a customer. Then here we're going to add the email address. The email address, we're going to get it from Monday. You can limit it to 1 in this example, and then click on OK. Now we are searching our customer, assuming that we created them on Stripe. So if you didn't create them on Stripe, we're going to first of all create our customer, then search for them. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to create a payment intent. We're going to add the amount that we are charging this client. So for example, we can say we're charging them $2,000. One thing you need to note is that the amount that you add right here will be in cents. To convert the cents to dollars, we'll have to add 2 zeros. So 200,000 cents is equal to $2,000. The currency, we're using USD as our currency. The description, we can say content creation. So our description is just a simple description. The recipient email, the customer ID, I'm going to add the customer ID. Then you can add the payment method, the shipping address, and all this other information right here. But I'm just going to click on OK and create an invoice. So on Stripe, I'm going to search for invoice. Then click on create an invoice. For the customer ID, I'm going to add our customer ID from the search customer module. Then here, the collection method, we like to send an invoice. Here we'll add the days until due. You can say let's say 3 days. You can add the date if you want to. You can add the description. The subscription ID if you have one. I'm just going to choose to just click on OK and leave it as is. Now we can send this invoice via email to our client. So here I'll click on send an email. And I'll rename this email to send invoice. And then click on the email address. We're going to add the email address of our client. I'm going to get our email address from Monday. So here we're going to add the email address right here. For the subject line, we can say content creation invoice for. Then here we can add their first name. And then for the content of the email, we can say hi, first name. Thank you for the opportunity to collaborate with you on creating content for you. As we move forward, please find the invoice for our recent services by clicking the link below. Then here we can add the invoice link. The invoice link, we're getting it from our create an invoice module. So you can choose to add the invoice URL right here. If you have any questions about the invoice or need additional details, please feel free to reach out. We are always happy to clarify anything and ensure everything is in order. Your prompt attention to these will be greatly appreciated, and I look forward to continuing our collaboration. Thanks again for choosing us. I'm here if you need anything further. Best regards, Brandon. And then click on OK. Now, besides only sending the invoice, we'll also like to send payment reminders. Now, on automation, here, I'll search for invoice. And then here, I like to retrieve open invoices. So here, I'll search for invoice. Then I'll add the customer ID from our customer module. Here, the status of the invoice will be open. And then the collection method will be send invoice. You can limit it to 1. Then click on OK. Now, we would like to send them an email if they have an outstanding balance. I'll click on send an email and rename this email to send reminder. And then click on OK. For the email address, we're going to add the email address from Monday. Add the email address right here. The subject line can say payment reminder for Megan. And then for the content of the email, we can say hi, first name. Quick reminder that the payment for the content creation service, which was issued 3 days ago, is due. If you could please take a moment to process the payment at your earliest convenience, I'd greatly appreciate it. You can view and complete the payment using the link below. And here we're adding the link to the invoice. So here, I'll add the link to the invoice. If the payment has already been made, thank you. Please disregard this message and let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to continuing our work together. Best regards, Brandon. So this could be the email reminder that we are sending to our clients, to reminding them to complete the processing of the payment. And then here I'll click on OK. To ensure that these emails are not sent at the same time, I'll create a filter right here. I'll label it as payment reminder, and we like to set up two conditions. The first condition that I'm going to set up is they have to have an amount due. So here, amount due exists, and this email we like to send it 3 days after our webhook was triggered. So here, I'll say date should equal to, and then on our calendar, I'm going to click on add days, and then here I'll click on now, and then here I'll add 3 days, and then click on OK. To test if our automation works perfectly, I'll run it. And then I'll change the status of one of our clients to send invoice. You can see right here we triggered our webhook after we changed the status of one of our clients to send invoice, and we got their data right here. We searched for the customer, and we got the customer. We created a payment intent, we created an invoice, and we sent them the invoice via this email right here. You can see the subject line of the email, content creation invoice for Dennis. After 3 days and they still haven't processed the invoice, we are going to send them this email reminder over here. With this simple automation, we have automated the billing and invoicing process for a content creation agency. The next process that we're going to automate is the content planning process, where we are going to create an automation that creates a scheduling link and sends it to our client for them to book a Calendly session on our calendar to plan the content they would like created for them. To automate the content planning process, on our content creation agency system folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to content planning automation. I like to trigger this automation after one of our clients' status changes to content planning. So here, I'll search for webhooks, then click on custom webhook. Here, I'll click on add and then rename our webhook. I'll rename our webhook to content planning and then click on save. And then I'll copy the link of our webhook and then click on OK. And then on Monday, I'll click on integrate. And then click on webhooks. And then I'd like to send our webhook when the status changes to something. So I'll use this as our template. And then I'll use another account and paste the URL that we just copied right here. And then on automation, I'll run our webhook. And then on Monday, I'll click on connect. You can see it said failed to communicate with the URL provided. Like we did previously, we'll need to return the challenge text. So on webhooks, I'll click on webhook response. And now I'll return these text right here. So here, I took curly braces. And then here, I'll write challenge. And then I'll return this text right here. And then so here, I'll run our webhook again. And then on Monday, I'll click on connect. You can see that it runs successfully. I'm going to delete the response. And then on Monday, I'll set up a webhook. So I'd like to send a webhook when the status changes to content planning. And then here I'll click on create automation. Now let us test if our webhook works. So I'll run it. And then I'll change the status of one of our clients to content planning. And then we'll get the specific client whose status we just changed. To get the rest of their data, I'll copy this pulse ID. And then on Monday, I'll search for get an item module. Then click on get an item, choose the right connection, and then for the ID, you'll add the pulse ID. And then for the board ID, I'll choose our content creation client's board, and then click on OK. Now I'll run this module by pasting our pulse ID right here, and then clicking on OK. And here we're getting the rest of their data, like their first name, last name, company name, email, and phone number. Now with this data, we can send them an email. But before we send them an email, I'll search for Calendly. And then on Calendly, I'm going to create a scheduling link. For the maximum event count, I'm going to say 1. And then for the event type, we can say client interview. and then click on OK. Now we can send the client the scheduling link so they can schedule a call for the content planning process. I'll rename this email to scheduling email. I'll rename it to scheduling email, then click on OK. Now for the email, adding the email address from Monday. The subject line is on the lines of schedule a call to plan your content strategy. And then the content of the email could be on the lines of hi, first name. As we prepare to kick off your content project, I'd love to set up a time to discuss your goals, preference, ideas for the content planning process. This will help us ensure that everything is aligned with your vision and that we deliver the best results. Please use the link below to choose a time that works best for you. So then here we are adding the scheduling link from Calendly, which is a booking URL. Here we're giving them a summary of the call. During the call, we'll cover your target audience and content objectives, key topics and themes you'd like to focus on, any existing branding or style preferences, the overall timeline and next steps. I'm looking forward to collaborating and bringing your content strategy to life. Best regards, Brandon. So this could be the email that we are sending our client for them to schedule a call for the content planning process. So I'll click on OK. Now to test if automation works perfectly, I'll run it. Then on Monday, I'll change the status of one of our clients to content planning. And you can see that here is we triggered our webhook. We got the data of the client whose status we just changed right here. And then we are creating the scheduling link and we are sending the client the scheduling link via this email right here. So the subject line of the email is schedule a call to plan your content strategy. This is the content of the email that we're sending to our client. Scheduling, and this is a scheduling link for the client. So with this simple automation, we have automated the content planning process. The next process that we're going to automate is a project tracking process, where we're going to set up an automation that tracks the progress of the project to ensure everyone stays on schedule. To automate the project tracking process for a content creation agency, on our content creation agency system folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. On Monday, I like to watch boards column values. So this will be our trigger. Here I'll create a webhook. I'll choose our connection right here. We can name our webhook. You can call it project tracking webhook. And for the board ID, we'll choose content creation clients is our board ID. Update types, we'll choose item specific column value update. And then for the column, we'll choose status. Then click on save. And then here I'll click on OK. Our webhook has been set up correctly. So here I'll get an item. So I'll start to get an item, then click on get an item. For the ID, we'll add a pulse ID. Then for the board ID, I'll choose content creation clients as our board ID, and then click on OK. On Monday, we're going to track our project by status. So we're going to send our client an email when the project is in progress, in the finalizing stage, after the project has been completed, or after the project has been cancelled. Now, to do that, here, on the flow control, I'll click on router. Now, we're going to send 4 emails to our client. So for the first one, here we can choose send an email module. This email, we can rename it to in progress. So yeah, I'm going to name this the first email to in progress email. On emails, I'll click on send an email. For this email, I will rename it to finalizing email. And then click on OK. I'll choose an email, then click on send an email. And then I'll rename this to completed email. And then click on OK. Then this one will be for cancelled email. So I'll click on send an email, then rename this to cancelled email. And then click on OK. So we are going to send the client these emails to keep him updated on where the project is at every single stage. So we're going to send them an progress email if the project is in progress. We're also going to send them another email called the finalizing email if the project is at the finalizing stage. We're also going to send them a completed email if we have completed the project. And lastly, we're going to send them a cancelled email if we have cancelled the project. Now, to test if our webhook is working perfectly, and if we are going to get the data of our client after the status changes, I'll run our automation. And then on Monday, I'm going to change one of our clients' status, maybe let's say to onboarding. You can see it's been triggered right here. We've got Megan, since it's Megan whose status we just changed. Now, when we're getting her data right here, now we can continue setting up automation. For the in progress email, for the email address, we're going to add our client's email address right here. The subject line could be in the lines of project update, currently in progress. And then here we can say, hi, first name. I wanted to provide you with an update on the current status of the project. The project is in progress and our team is making steady progress towards our goal. We are currently on track with our timeline and anticipate completing the next phase by, and then we can add the specific date that we're anticipating to complete the project. At this point, there are no major issues or blockers that could impact our delivery schedule. If you have any questions or need further information, please do not hesitate to reach out. I'll continue to keep you updated as we progress through the next steps of the project. Thank you for your continued support and collaboration. Best regards, Brandon. So this could be the email that we're sending to our client when the project is in progress. And then click on OK. So here we can set up a filter and label it as in progress. And then for the condition, we can say the status text should equal to in progress. And then click on OK. So if the status changes to in progress, we're going to send them this email right here. For the finalizing email, the email address, we're going to add it from our monday.com module right here. The subject line of the email could be in the lines of project update, finalizing stage. And then the content of the email, we can say, hi, first name. I'm pleased to inform you that the project is now in the final stage. Our team is currently working on the last details to ensure everything meets the agreed upon specifications and quality standards. We anticipate completing the final touches by, and then we add in a specific date. Okay. Once this is done, we'll be ready to proceed with handover and any necessary review or approvals. If you have any final requests, adjustments, or feedback, now will be an excellent time to share them. Please let me know if there's anything specific you'd like us to focus on as we wrap up the project. Thank you for your continued partnership. I'll keep you updated on our progress and notify you once the project is fully completed. Best regards, Brandon. So this could be the email that we are sending to our client, where if the project is in the finalizing stage, click on OK. So here we can set up a filter to ensure that this email only goes out when the status changes to finalizing. The label, I'll label it as finalizing. Then the condition, we can say status. And then the text should equal to finalizing, and then click on OK. So if our status changes to finalizing, we'll send this email to our client. For the completed email, the email address, I'll get the email address from our get an item module. Then the subject line could be in the lines of project update completed. And then the content of the email, we can say, hey, first name. I'm delighted to inform you that the project has been successfully completed. Our team has thoroughly reviewed the final deliverables to ensure that they meet all the agreed upon requirements and quality standards. The completed project is now ready for your review and handover. Please let me know if you would like to schedule a final walkthrough or if there's any further steps that you'd like us to take. Thank you for the opportunity to work on this project. It's been a pleasure collaborating with you, and we hope the results exceed your expectations. Should you have any additional questions or need further assistance, feel free to reach out at any time. Best regards, Brandon. So this is the email that we are sending to our client after the project has been completed. And we can set up a filter to ensure that that happens. So here, you can say completed as our label. And then for the on status, the text should equal completed. And then click on OK. So after our status changes to completed, we're going to send our client this email. For the cancelled email, we're going to send this email to our client after we have cancelled the project. So for the email address, we're going to add the email address of our client right here. And then the subject line could be in the lines of project update, cancelled. And then the content of the email, we're saying, hey, first name. I'm writing to inform you that after careful consideration and discussion, the project has been cancelled. While we regret that we won't be moving forward with this project, we appreciate the effort and the collaboration from everyone involved up to this point. If there's any outstanding matters or final steps you would like us to address, please let me know. We are committed to ensuring a smooth closure and here to assist with any necessary wrap-up activities. Thank you for your understanding and the opportunity to work with you on this project. Should you have any questions or require further clarification, do not hesitate to reach out. Best regards, Brandon. This is the email that we are sending our client after the project has been cancelled, and we can ensure that that happens by setting up a filter and labeling it to cancelled. The condition, we can say the status where the text should equal to cancelled. Then click on OK. Now we can save automation and auto align it. Now to test if automation works perfectly, first of all, we'll run it. And now we can change one of our client status to in progress. And you can see right here that we got the specific client whose status we just changed. We got their data right here, including their email and phone number. And now we are sending them the in progress email right here. The subject line is project update, currently in progress. And the content of the email, we're saying that they provide you an update that the current state of the project is in progress. Now we can also run the automation again and change the status of one of our clients to finalizing. And you can see we're getting our client right here, we're getting the data over here, and then we are sending them the finalizing email right here. We're saying the project update is in the finalizing stage, and this is the content of the email that we're sending to our client. Now we can run it once more and change the status of one of our clients to completed. You can see that we're getting our client right here, we're getting his data right here, and then we are sending them the completed email over here, where the subject line, you can see project update completed, and then the content of the email, we're sending these as our email, telling them that the project has successfully been completed. You can run it one more time and change the status of one of our clients to cancelled. And you can see that we're getting our client right here, we're getting his data over here, and we are sending them the cancelled email over here with the subject line project update cancelled. And this is the email that we are sending to our client, notifying them that we just cancelled the project. So this is a simple automation that we are setting up to track the project and notify our client which stage the project is at every single time. Now you can also add other stages. So with this simple automation, we've automated the project tracking process for a content creation agency. The next process that we're going to automate is the content creation process, where we're going to generate content for blog posts and social media platforms based on predefined topics. We are also going to automate the content distribution process, where we're going to automate content scheduling on social media platforms and blog posts, allowing for timely publications without manual interventions. We're also going to automate the social media engagement process, where we are going to create an automation that automatically responds to common inquiries on our posts. To automate the content creation process, on our folder, I'll click on Create a New Scenario. I'll rename our scenario to Content Creation System. Monday, we're going to use the Content Creation Topics board to source our topics. So here you can see the topics that we like to create content from. So the power of storytelling in brand marketing, content strategies for multi-platform campaigns. So these are the topics that we're going to generate content from. Here, I'll search for Monday and I'll list boards items. You can set the limit to 25. And here we can choose our board ID. Our board ID this time around is going to be content creation topics. Here we'll choose the output column values. Column ID, you can say the name. You can also say the date created is a column 2. Then click on OK. We can run this module and see if we are going to get our topics. We are getting our topics right here. And we are getting all the topics over here because we have a total of 10 topics. Now with our topics, we can start generating content from our topics. To generate content from our topics, I'm going to use ChatGPT. So on OpenAI, here, I'll click on create a completion. Then this module, I'll rename it to create platform specific post. So with this module, we're going to create a specific post to a particular social media platform. And the next module that I'm going to add will be the generate an image module. We're going to generate a platform specific image. So I'll rename it to generate specific image. And then click on OK. Here, I'll get a file. So on HTTP, I'm going to click on get a file. I'm going to get the images that we just generated over here. Now we're going to create social media posts for each platform. I'm going to, on flow control, I'm going to choose router. I'm going to split our router into 5 different routes. The first one, we're going to create a post for Facebook. So I'll search for Facebook pages, and I would like to create a post with photos. So the first post that we're going to create is for Facebook. We can create another post for LinkedIn. So I'll search for LinkedIn and then click on LinkedIn. And I like to create a user image post. So I'll click on create a user image post right here. You can also do that for Instagram. So here I'll search for Instagram. Then click on Instagram for business and create a photo post. You can do that for Twitter too. So I'm going to search for Twitter and then click on Twitter. You can go to the previous version, version 5, and say upload a media. You can add an attachment. Our attachment is going to be from the get file module. Then click on OK. And then on Twitter, we're going to create a post. Oh yeah, you can cancel it for now. Then lastly, we can create like a blog post for a WordPress website. So here on OpenAI, I'll click on create a completion and then rename this to create an article. Then click on OK. We can also generate an image for a blog post. So I will name this module to generate an image and then click on OK. And then here you can post it on WordPress. So on WordPress, I'll click on create a post. After creating all the connection in our applications, I can explain to you how this automation works. We are listing all the board items from our content creation topics board right here. So if we run this module only, you can see that we are getting all the topics here. Using one of the topics, we are creating a platform specific post. We're also using that topic to generate a platform specific image. Now we're getting the files and we are creating a post with the photos on Facebook. We're also creating a user image post on LinkedIn from the image that we got right here, that we generated from here. We're doing the same for Instagram. We are doing the same for Twitter. And then for WordPress, we are creating an article and then generating an image for that article and posting it on our WordPress blog using the simple automation that I just created right here. We have automated the content creation process for a content creation agency. We have also automated the content distribution process. The only thing that is left is automating the scheduling of the posts. To schedule the posts each social media platform, I'm going to use this tool called Vista Social. It's an incredible tool that you can use to schedule a new post. So here, I'll connect it to Facebook, and with this, we're going to schedule a new post that we just created from Facebook. I'm going to clone it and do the same for LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, after we have created a post, we are going to schedule it using Vista Social. I'm going to clone it again and do that the same with an Instagram post, where after we've created a post, we are going to schedule it using Vista Social. I'm going to clone it again to schedule a post on Twitter. Here, we have automated the content creation process, the content distribution. We have also automated the scheduling on social media platforms, allowing for timely publication without manual intervention. For the social media engagement process, where we are automating the responses to common inquiries, We can do that for each and every single platform using Vista Social, where we are setting up automated responses for your common queries. For example, prices, location, our services. On Vista, click on listening. Here, you will add listeners to common queries. So first of all, you'll need to add your accounts right here. So you can add your Facebook account, your Twitter account, your Instagram account, your LinkedIn account. Then you can set up listeners right here. You can give it a name. You can include the keywords. So here you can include price, you can include customer service, you can include your services, you can include any kind of keyword right here. And you can exclude keywords right here. Then click on save. Every single time one of the responses on your post aligns with one of the keywords that you just set up, the automated response will be sent to the commenter. On Vista, you can also see recent posts and the scheduled posts right here. Also, on Vista Social, when you click on Inbox, here you will find all the features you need to respond to incoming comments, messages, and reviews on different social media profiles that you've connected on Vista Social. So you can see if you're getting a message from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you can LinkedIn, you're going to get all the messages right here and be able to respond to the messages on the inbox over here. By using Vista Social, we can automate the process of scheduling social media posts on different social media platforms. And we can also automate the process of responding to common inquiries by people who are engaging with our posts. And with these content creation automation right here, we have generated content, we've created a post for each and every single platform, and now we are scheduling it using Vista Social to be posted at a certain date and time. We're going to add to Vista Social. So with this automation, we have automated this process right here. Last process that we're going to automate for content creation agency is the client feedback and review process, where we're going to set up an automation that automatically sends review requests to collect feedback from clients, streamlining the revision process. Now, to automate the client feedback and review process, on our content creation agency system folder, I'll click on create a new scenario and feedback and review automation. I like to trigger our automation by setting up a webhook that is triggered after one of our client status changes to client feedback. So here, I'll search for webhooks, then click on custom webhook. I'll click on add, then I'll rename our webhook right here. I'll rename it to client feedback. And then click on save. I'll copy the link to this webhook and then click on OK. Then on Monday, I'll click on integrate. Then I'll click on webhooks. And then I like to send a webhook when the status changes to something. So I'll use this as a template. Here, I'll use another account and paste the URL that we just copied right here. And here, I'll run our webhook. And then on Monday, I'll connect. Here it says failed to communicate with the URL provided. We'll need to return this this text right here. So using a webhook response. So on webhook, click on webhook response. And then here, I'll write challenge. Then I'll return this text right here and click on OK. And then I'll run our webhook again and then click on connect. You can see it connected successfully, so we can delete the response. Then here, we can set up a webhook. So we'd like to send our webhook when the status changes to client feedback and click on create automation. To test our webhook, I'll click on run. And then here, I'll change one of our client status to client feedback. You can see here it ran successfully. And we are getting the specific client whose status we just changed now. But we're not getting their details like their email, their phone number, their first and last name, or the company they work in. To get that data, I'll copy the pulse ID right here. And then on Monday, I'm going to search for get an item module. Then click on get an item. I'll choose the right connection. And then for the ID, I'm going to add the pulse ID. For the board ID, I'm going to choose content creation client as our board ID, and then click on OK. Now here, I'll run this module by pasting our pulse ID, and then click on OK. You can see we're getting the client's data over here. We're getting the first name, last name, company they work in, their email, and their phone number. Now with their data, we can send them an email asking them to fill in a form to get feedback and reviews of our services. So on Typeform, I've created a survey form and renamed it to Content Creation Clients Feedback Survey. Here we're asking several questions to try and get feedback from our clients about our services. So the first question that we're asking them is, how satisfied are you with our services? And then here they'll rate our services. The second question that we're asking them is, how likely are you to recommend our services to others? And then here they're going to rate us. The third question that we're asking them is, how well did we communicate throughout the project? And then they're going to type in their answer right here. The fourth question that we're asking them is there anything else you would like to share about your experience with our services? And they can type in their answer right here. And lastly, we're asking them, do you have any suggestion for improving our services? Then they're going to type in the answer right here. This is the form they would like to send to our client for them to fill in so they can give us feedback of our services. On automation, I'll get this form. So to get the ID of this form, I'm going to click on share. And then on make, I'll click on Typeform and then click on get a form. Choose the right connection. And then on Typeform, we'll copy the unique ID of this form, which is this unique ID right here. And then we are going to paste the ID over here and click on OK. Now let us run this module only and see if we're going to get our form. We're getting our form right here, content creation, clients feedback survey. And this is a link to our form, which is the same link to this form right here. Now with our form right here, we can rename it to client feedback survey. And then click on OK. Now with our form right here, we can send the client the email and the link to the form so they can fill in the survey form. So here I'll click on send an email. I'll rename this email to client feedback email, then click on OK. We're going to add the email address from our Monday right here. Then the subject line could be on the lines of, we'd love your feedback, quick survey. And then the content of the email, we're saying, hi, first name. We are always striving to improve and provide the best possible experience for our clients. To help us continue delivering high quality service, we'd greatly appreciate if you could take a few minutes to fill out a short feedback and survey form. You can access the survey through the link below. And here we add in the survey link. The survey link will be this link over here. Your insights will help us understand what we did well and where we can improve for future projects. We truly value your opinion and would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for your time and trusting us with your business. We look forward to working with you again. Best regards, Brandon. This is the client feedback email that we're going to send to our clients for them to fill in the survey form and give us feedback of our services. And then here, I'm going to click on OK. And now to test if automation works perfectly, I'm going to run it. And then I'm going to change the status of one of our clients to client feedback. And you can see that our automation ran successfully. So we trigger the webhook by changing the status to client feedback. And then we are getting the specific data of the client that we just changed. And then we are getting the survey form. And then we are sending the survey form to our client via this email here. So you can see the subject line is would like your feedback, quick survey. And then the content of the email, we're asking them to fill in the survey form. This is the survey form link right here. And then they can give us our feedback and we can get the feedback and add it to a board on monday.com where we are collecting the feedback from clients. We've automated the client feedback and review process for content creation agency. So these are all the processes for a content creation agency that we've automated using make.com. The first automation, we're collecting our clients using Typeform and adding our clients to monday.com using the simple automation right here. And then the second automation was sending an onboarding questionnaire to our client via this email right here. And the third automation is a billing and invoicing automation where we are creating an invoice for our client and sending them via this email. And if they have an outstanding amount, we're going to send them this email reminder reminding them for them to complete the payment of the invoice with the third automation right here, we are automating the content planning process, where we are creating a scheduling link and sending it to our client via this email for them to schedule for a call to plan the content that they would like for a particular time period. With this fourth automation, it's a project tracking automation, where we are sending emails to our client, updating them on where the project is at a particular stage. And creation system, where with this automation, we are generating specific posts for each platform. We're generating images for specific posts for each platform. Then we are creating the posts for each platform right here and scheduling the posts using Vista Social. We're also creating an article and generating an image for the article and posting it as a blog post on WordPress. On Vista Social, we're also setting up automated responses for common queries that are going to be asked by people who are engaging with our post. So we are going to set up automated responses for each and every platform, for Facebook, for LinkedIn, for Instagram, and for Twitter. And the automated responses are going to respond to all those people who are commenting on our posts. And lastly, it's the client feedback and review automation, where we are creating a survey form on Typeform and then sending the form to our client via this email for them to fill in and give us feedback of our services. Here are all the automations that we just set up, automating all the processes for a content creation agency. Thank you for watching. If you have an automation or a system in mind that you'd like for me to create, just comment down below in the comment section. I read out the comments, and if I land on your comment and I find it intriguing, I'll come back on a future video showing you how to set up the entire system or automation from scratch. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.